Okay. We've got a bunch of different things to chat about tonight. Let's start with minutes. George, these were particularly detailed.
Yeah, well, I had a little help from AI because I was
Yeah.
having trouble doing it on my own the last
Yeah.
meeting.
It is good to know that we can use that.
Please keep it going, AJ.
Yeah,
That would be great.
I'm gonna just make that so for folks that don't know, there's like a new AI companion tool that's embedded in Zoom that can do sort of helpful summaries and things at the end of after the
So
meeting.
you think these are really detailed, huh?
I thought that at least this when I asked it for like a recap of I can't remember what it was, but when you and I hung out after the last meeting
Yeah.
and I asked for like specifically a summary of I can't remember which topic it was, but it seemed like
Yeah, it was. It was the debrief.
yeah, the debrief felt like it was pretty detailed.
Yeah, it's more detailed than what he gave us. That's true,
Yeah.
what I wrote.
Yeah.
But I had, yeah, that's true.
All right.
But
So
I don't think I made them more detailed than I typically do.
no, definitely not. But it is a good option if there's like I know I having been the note taker previously, I know sometimes you get like very involved in the discussion and it's hard to like keep up your note taking. So it's
I
good to know
certainly do
that
talk a lot.
yeah, can fill in the gaps. Okay, so I didn't have any uh questions or suggestions. Anybody have any for George?
Nope, it's good.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 23rd as written.
Second. I'll second.
Okay.
Arvanitis, I.
Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss, I.
And Stein, aye.
All right, so that's done. And I think what we'll do next is take a look at draft budget letter. So I sent everybody this draft. Susie has made some suggestions largely around I think sort of brevity, which Susie, if we want, we can also pull that version up, but maybe I'll just share the original first. Okay. So I think we definitely want to come out of this meeting with a finalized letter. So I'll just say really briefly, I attempted to do a few things here. One was just kind of summarize, I think in these first 3 or 4 paragraphs, just some points that we sort of reinforce some points that we made at the full department head meeting, just to make sure that sort of people are kind of have that context in mind as they work on their budgets. Then I think the critical couple of paragraphs are these two here, which I think is basically what I think where we landed, at least that's what I assume, where I assumed we landed at the end of the last meeting, which is to say, you know, to each department head, prepare a budget that reflects the actual costs required to run your department and sustain current services. As we always ask for, document any significant factors that are either leading to increases or decreases. And then added this paragraph, which I don't think we've done anything quite like this in previous letters, where we say, at the same time, we ask that you also be prepared to identify possible reductions or lower cost alternatives in the event that the overall budget results in a significant deficit. Finance Committee will need to evaluate the town's finances holistically and may need to make difficult decisions to balance competing needs. Your insight into what reductions would be least disruptive will be invaluable. So Anyway, and then the rest of the memo is just kind of the process stuff. So, any feedback, comments, suggestions, changes? George?
So back to those those two paragraphs that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought it was a great letter, AJ. It's really good letter. We did agree to, like you said, I don't, and no criticism of these. I mean, I think these are great. Probably would work the way they are. The only thing is, I don't want there to be. I'm thinking there might be some confusion for department heads, specifically what we're asking them to do. The first paragraph, I'm just thinking we should be a little more assertive. We're please, and you don't have to do this, but so that they know what we're really looking for is the first paragraph. The second paragraph, we just want them to think. We just want them to be prepared. And they might think that you actually are asking them for two separate things here. I don't think it reads that way, but I think we should be
Okay.
a little more clear just to eliminate confusion, because I
Yeah.
just know when you get 10 people reading a letter, not everybody always interprets things.
Right. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so let's come back to that. Susie?
Just in George's thing, it could say in that second paragraph, instead of at the same time, it could just start with please be prepared. So it goes directly to the action.
Yeah, I think by using the word identify, we're almost asking them to tell us. And I'd rather they just considered what possible reductions they might have. Was the other thing I meant to say.
Yeah.
The other thing I was raising my hand about was, where did you get the November 1 deadline?
Oh, yeah, that should be December.
I
it wasn't
think I
true.
got that from last year's letter, but maybe I might have been looking at like an earlier draft. Was that not part of
No,
Well, you'd think somebody on the capital planning board could answer that question, but I'm not sure. I can
it
check with
does say in
Ellen.
last year's.
I may have also just misread what we wrote in last year.
It does say that in last year's. I didn't remember that.
Okay.
I think it's not in the bylaw. The bylaw says no later than February 1st.
Okay.
And since we're off in time,
Mhm.
maybe somebody on capital plan could suggest what they're ready for and when would be a good time to get that information.
I like that idea. Yeah. So, yeah, and it was kind of a silly paragraph, because we're saying turn in by November 1st, but you got till February 1st, right?
Right.
So I think December 1st, we should just tell them December 1st. I can check with Ellen and double check, but what's, December 1st, December 15th. I mean, we're meeting. We have a meeting on December 4th. So it would be interesting to see what kind of response we get. And at that
Yeah.
point, we could probably, the capital planning committee could reach out to the managers and say, hey, last call, if you've got capital needs, please let
Yeah.
us know now, but be assured that you can be, if something else comes up, as long as you get
Yeah.
it to us by February 1st. That's the way we'll word it.
Should we not even mention the February 1 point?
Yeah.
I think 'cause
George, Bob's not here anymore.
uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a good question. I'd say no.
I mean, what we could do is it's probably a good idea, like sometime in January or something, to just send out. And I think it's probably not a FinCom thing, but maybe a capital planning thing where you guys could send a notice to all department heads saying,
Yeah, last
by the
call.
way, last call for
Yep.
capital requests.
Yeah, I think we will do that, because I think we are all conscious of the fact that last year a lot of people came in very late, and some
Yeah.
people came in afterwards and didn't get their requests. They know better, I bet, but still, yes, we'll do that.
Okay. Do we want to set a date for them to I just have a placeholder here to return their budget forms?
Why not December 1st?
Yeah, is that Is that too late? Let's see.
I was thinking Thanksgiving
Mhm.
because we need to start, well, we could kind of work backwards from the scheduling the appointments.
Mhm.
But I think if they get this, and we've already talked, maybe Thanksgiving, which is the 27th.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of splitting hairs here because it's just a few days before December 1.
Okay,
Well,
That's-
and it might be up to Haley too. I mean, the person who's processing them. I mean, do you have preference?
So I think December 1st makes sense because the select board also granted Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving off. I would imagine that in the week leading up to Thanksgiving, people are pretty busy. It gives them a little bit more grace time. Because it's already November 4th.
Yeah.
And this is going to get out to them probably either tomorrow or the next day.
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
December 1st is that Monday, right? Yeah,
Yes,
after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. December 1 it is. Other suggestions?
Yeah, I guess,
April.
I wanted to go back to what George said that, that
Mhm.
we don't necessarily need to know what people, this is how I'm interpreting what people
Mhm.
may or may not, the possible reductions that I think it would be good for us to know what those are specifically, not
Yeah.
just, because that'll help us in our decisions.
Yeah, like I feel like on this point, I don't think it is a bad thing for department heads to be prepared at their budget meetings with us to actually talk specifically or sort of bring us into their thinking about what are some, it's always tricky, right? Because people aren't going to want to offer up that, like, this line or that line is a lower priority. But the reality is that some of these conversations are going to happen in January. And by that time, I think, are going to have a pretty good idea or some early indications about kind of what the scope of our budget deficit might be, especially we'll get to it later, but George has developed some really great planning tools for us. And so we may have meetings in January where it's going to be pretty clear that we're going to need departments to actually suggest some cuts. And so I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for them to come into those meetings prepared to identify possible areas. I don't know.
I also think that having had that meeting with everybody a week or so ago, it sort of brought, I think there's I would imagine more trust between people and the conversation
Yeah.
might be easier.
Yeah. Molly?
Yeah, do we need to give them some more guidance if we're asking them for that, though?
What kind of guidance do you think?
Well, I mean,
Like a numerical
yeah,
target?
which like, we don't know what that would be yet. So it's
Yeah, I mean,
kind of premature to do it, but also this seems very, like, if you want people just to, like, I could think about it.
yeah,
I mean, it depends on how much information you want them to have by the time we're meeting with them, I guess.
yeah,
Or if
mean-
that's something that we can give further information, like in the future when we actually know more.
yeah. I mean, this is the dilemma, right? We did at our last meeting, we did talk about the possibility of, establishing some more like concrete guidelines for department heads to consider. And I think the consensus was it'd be better if we allowed them to build
Well-
a budget based on their actual costs. But
So, I guess my question is more like, because this is my first time going through this.
Yeah.
Like, what is FinCom's process? Like, when do you know where our revenues and our expenses are lining up? When do we have that kind of first idea of how things are looking?
so historically, but I think things are going to operate a little bit differently this year. Historically, we haven't actually produced a first draft of our budget until the budget meeting process has concluded, where we've had an opportunity to meet with all department heads. And those conversations have historically not involved the FinCom giving feedback or even suggesting or commenting on potential cuts or anything like that. It's more the context for those discussions are usually more about like, help us understand the thinking that went into you developing your budget, and us asking kind of clarifying questions. I think what might be a little bit different this year is that I think we're going to have, again, there are going to be a lot of rough assumptions, but I think we're going to have at least a preliminary, very rough sense of what we're dealing with in terms of budget deficit at an earlier time. And again, I think that's largely because George has built a planning tool that allows us to do a 5-year projection. And so it actually includes a set of assumptions, and we can start to tinker with those as we're getting information from departments. And yeah.
What
So,
if you,
yeah.
what if you said, be prepared to identify and prioritize possible reductions in, in budget items, and then put something in there that they should have like a dollar amount prepared to talk about what that cost saving would be. I'm just thinking, like, if I
Mhm.
read that, what might my thought process be?
Okay, so please be, so the idea is that we would ask them to be prepared to come into those conversations with a concrete, like, if this is my budget, assuming, level services. If I need to make a cut because of all these
Yeah,
larger factors,
like for
this is what I would
highway,
prioritize. Yeah.
you could
And this-
say, like, I would rather cut, the boot allowance for the highway
Mhm.
department before I cut my, tool maintenance budget, those kind of things, so that at least we have a sense of what is, because we even allude to it later on where it says would be least disruptive, so that's just kind of cementing the fact that there should be some ranking involved.
Yeah, okay. So would it be enough to just add that prioritize
Yeah.
word? So,
Yeah.
please be prepared to identify and prioritize potential reductions.
Yeah.
Skip this. In the event that the overall budget results in a significant deficit. Yeah. Okay, Susie?
One of the things that I know happens when the departments are trying to come up with a budget,
Mhm.
is there's a lot of costs that are unknown, and that's why we're watching FY26 unfold, and they are too. So they're making sort of fly by their seat of their pants guesses, and we
Mhm.
know that. And so holding this is hard for them to do. And we didn't recognize that here in this letter. And the other thing is we didn't use the words level services or level dollars anywhere. And that may be a good move.
Mhm.
So, s- and I don't think we need to make anything more about that clear. But I just sort of going back to what happens when they come in, they've made some guesses.
Yeah.
They don't know what the inflation's going to be on some of the things they want to buy. So if they prioritize it and, things come in as a surprise, that's what we kind of have to be prepared to respond to.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. I wonder if, can we give folks would it even be helpful for us to give sort of an early estimate? I don't even know how often these inflation indices are updated, but like, is there such thing as a kind of early preview of an FY27 in inflation projection that's published by somebody? I don't even, I have no sense of that.
I could probably put together an estimate because I know what we use for the COLA,
Mhm.
and the number for October will probably be out in the next week.
Mhm.
And so we can just look at the rate for the year to date. We can look for the
Mhm.
rate for the last 12 months and say and apply that to a full year. There's
Yeah.
ways to do that. I think because we're far along in FY25, and it's FY25's inflation factor is what we use for the COLA in
Yeah.
essence.
So
we
would that be a helpful thing to share with department heads as they're, Molly, I
don't-
know you put your hand up earlier when I asked this, yeah.
That's an average inflation rate, and
Mhm.
would hope that maybe not our newest department heads, but that our
Mhm.
more experienced department heads would know that, like, yeah, I don't know if they pay utility, like utilities have a certain inflation rate, and that's different than salt, that's different than books. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Well, managers to some extent see what things are costing, and those who have been around have certainly are aware what they used to pay for a load of sand.
Mhm.
Mhm.
George, I see your hand up. Did you have a?
Yeah, so I had a different take, a different idea. One thing I noticed that's not in here is we talked about having a follow-up meeting with the department heads, and I'm wondering if the context of that paragraph should be prepared to identify and prioritize potential reductions when, in the event, I haven't thought up the wording, but I'm thinking we're going to have this meeting. When you come to this meeting, you're going to find out if we have a deficit or not. And if we do, we want you to be prepared, or at least think about how you would react to that, is the framework or the outline of what I'm thinking we should say. But you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
If we
So
made
you're
reference
saying,
to that meeting and put the context of doing this towards that meeting, that might be clear to them.
yeah. So your point, your suggestion is that we actually build into this letter the specific expectation that we're going to the FinCom is going to host a follow-up meeting with all department heads in late January, February. I don't know. We should
Yeah,
probably say something
midwinter.
about the time. At which we will have a early
Preliminary
projection,
budget.
a preliminary budget, and may and yeah, and so we want you to be prepared to share specific suggestions or ideas at that meeting for potential reductions or something along
Yeah,
those
in the
lines.
event that the preliminary budget is in a deficit.
Yeah.
So we've got the base of that in this paragraph that starts with please. So you could start off the paragraph with the finance committee will need to evaluate the town's finances, blah, and you can put in that it's going to be a meeting in, so you can just take this one and move it up. This one that says, will see the sentence, the second sentence in your current paragraph.
Yeah.
That can come first,
Oh,
and that can
yeah.
reference having a meeting and having it in late January, early February. And then, as a result of that meeting, is the please be prepared part.
All right. Okay. let's say, a preliminary budget and deficit projection
Yeah,
will be shared
yeah.
at an in-person.
Yeah, what was the title of that meeting you had? Is there like a
You can
reference?
call it the financial summit or fiscal summit.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
like
I know
that.
what it is.
At a fiscal, is that, do I need to capitalize that?
Sure.
Summit of, with all department and I should say committee heads too, right? Is
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is huge.
Yeah,
We've never done this before.
no.
We've never lived through
January,
these
so-
times, have we?
No,
Well,
not
but-
yet.
But it's kind of a good thing, right? Having
Yeah.
collaborative meetings with them twice a year, good,
Yeah.
bad, or otherwise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's, and
I mean,
yeah,
I think I can't remember. I made this point to somebody. I think at the last one is even if we weren't, we didn't have the specific challenges of FY27 that have sort of led to us doing all these different things this time around. I think this is actually, this should probably be kind of our process moving forward. Like this idea of
Yeah.
doing a department head meeting first, then meeting individually with department heads, then bringing them together again at the end of those meetings, presenting an early picture of what the next fiscal year looks like,
mhm.
so on and so forth. Yeah.
I also just wanted to point out, this is, Susie's been advocating this
Yeah.
kind of a thing for years.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's like, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You know, in terms of timing, we often don't see the local school budget until this space of time. We
Right.
could have this meeting and then await their budget submission. I don't know if it ties into the school, how it ties into the school's timeline.
Mhm.
But they should hear the, they should be at this meeting.
Oh, yeah, they will be. I just wondered if we should do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just is a time thing. That's fine.
Yeah. I think by saying late January, early February, there's probably enough
We could even,
flexibility in there that we can
yeah, I was
see.
gonna say, I'm sorry.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, we could be ambiguous and just say mid-budget season, or I suppose they want, that doesn't mean anything to everybody. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why my hand is.
I know, AJ.
I think it-
I'll call on you.
I think I do a lot of like hand gestures that get recognized as me raising
You
my
do
hand.
the one that's going like this. Okay.
Okay, lower hand. So how does this paragraph read now to folks? Is this
Finance
Work.
committee will need to vote the towns holistically. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think what we're saying now is be prepared by late January to identify and prioritize potential reductions.
have we noted in that?
Whether they need to actually implement those or not is going to be clear at that meeting. Yeah.
And is that, I'm not seeing it, it's stated that this will be in person.
Yeah. At
That, where is that?
an in-person fiscal summit with all department and committee heads. Okay. All right, fiscal summit doesn't sound too lofty to folks, is it?
It's pretty-
Whatever we called it the last time. I mean, what was people,
I
what
don't
did
even
people
remember.
refer to it as?
No.
Alright.
I don't think we had a name.
Yeah.
We need to identify a name so in the future everybody knows what it is. Summit
Mm.
is
Yeah.
lofty description.
I think fiscal summit. I like that.
Okay. Get out my crampons.
All right.
That's right. I'm skiing.
You need your belaying rope.
And a net.
Susie, am I right that you thought that maybe the first half of this letter might have too much
Yeah.
information that was already shared and that maybe it
Yeah.
would be worth sort of.
My thought is
going-
that this goes to everybody. Not everybody was at the summit, but all
Mhm.
the departments were.
Mhm.
So I don't know. You could put it all in there or, or you could think about taking some out. I think it's fine, and I think we need to do other things tonight, so let's just go.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a good letter, AJ,
Yeah.
and they're department heads, they're professionals and managers. They can
Yeah.
read.
all right.
Yes.
So, all right, I think we should probably vote on this. I'm gonna make a motion to approve this letter for release to all the department heads as revised here.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion about it? Any last suggestions, edits? Okay,
Arvanitis, aye?
Cashew, eye.
Osier, aye.
Moss eye.
And Stein, aye.
All right, Susie, can you remind me the process? Like, so do you, so I can send this letter now to, is it going to be Haley that's going to distribute this? Or I know in the
Yes.
past, I feel like you've distributed the budget form itself, right? Or.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, so I've fallen behind in terms of how to get that to you.
Okay.
And, but not to you. I guess what goes on is we put it in the Google Docs
Yeah,
and, we made physical packets and we also sent it by email.
okay. So
And
do
I
we,
could do the emails.
do we think we need the physical packet? Like, do we get any feedback that people actually use the physical forms and needed those? Or would it be sufficient to do just email an electronic letter, an electronic form?
We could save money that way.
Save printing costs.
Yeah.
I think, I think our mailboxes is not an effective system, but I don't
Mhm.
know that everybody is responding to emails. So maybe Haley has an opinion on that.
I think if you put in the email, just something like if you want a printed copy, I mean, at the end of the day, when they don't have a budget, they're gonna know that they probably should have submitted something. But I
Mhm.
think somebody had said doing a reminder email, that's
Yeah.
sufficient.
Don't, Haley, am I right that you have some kind of standing meeting that you do with all of the department heads? Is that?
Mhm.
Ha-
Yep,
ha-
our next one is on Thursday, so I can also tell them to
Could
pay
you-
attention.
Yeah, could
Heads
you,
up. Mhm.
could you mention it then at that meeting? That it's gonna be, that this year it's only gonna be distributed electronically unless they request a paper form?
Yeah, I can do
Okay.
that.
All right, so I'll send you the letter we just drafted. Susie, I know it's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
have a-
work, but do you have the capacity to do the pre-populated forms? I know that's a fair amount of work there.
I have the populated forms.
Oh, you have
There,
them.
but
all.
I don't have them. I gotta get some advice about how to go from my file
Yeah.
to a way to distribute it.
Okay.
I could just send it all to Haley if we want to do it that way, but so
Yeah.
that's the matching up for the email,
Yeah.
the 3 forms.
Okay. So Haley, if you get the letter from me, and then a set of budget forms from Susie, and again, the reason it's not one form is because it has the FY25,
Mhm.
and it includes the line items. So if you get those from Susie, could you or Brennan or if somebody on your team send them out to
Yeah.
all? Okay. great.
And
can
this
do that.
appointment schedule. There's one more
Yeah.
page.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's right. So we ought to, should we map out that schedule now? I think we probably should. Okay. That is one thing I did not prepare. Let's see. Let me search for a folder.
And they already know who their liaison is, right?
I think so.
It's on the form. It's on the history form. and the contacts for that person.
Okay.
Let's see.
So in 26, we started on November 12th with highway.
Yeah, we're gonna be behind this year.
Yeah.
Yep, we are.
Yes. All right, so I'm gonna share this. We're gonna have to obviously change all these things, but I think this was last year's, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 10th,
Does this look out of date? Wait, this might not be the most recent one. Hang on.
right?
Do we remember when we distributed the letter and the forms last year? How much lead time people have? I do not remember.
It was in October, and it was like end of October was when they were supposed to.
Okay.
No, I think we distributed those forms end of September.
We did,
Ah.
yeah.
So we are behind.
All right.
Do you usually, like when you have the department head meetings, is that part of your regular meeting or is it like a separate thing?
It's actually, it is, we usually do for our regular meetings between, so whenever we start these and through February, we're gonna we're gonna meet with the two departments per regular FinCom meeting. I'm having trouble
It's
finding.
Pretty
those.
much what we do for about 2 months straight. We'll have one meeting where
Okay.
we won't schedule anything so we can kind of catch our breath. And those end up being 2.5 to 3 hour meetings.
But we only meet twice a
Word of
month, right?
warning.
All right.
I know. Someone told me when I started this job there was only one meeting. And they lied.
A lot of that.
We met 35 times last year, just so you know.
It's crazy.
Out of 52.
That's right. But it was fun.
And we had the summer off.
Ah,
We only
This
meet
year-
once a month in the summer, and that's for real.
This year's town meeting is a little later. Yay!
oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's true. We do get a little extra time.
When will it be?
It's the second Saturday of May, which I don't have that calendar.
Oh, that's okay. Second Saturday, May, that's all I need. to
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so we're not that far behind.
Sorry, guys, I'm just
Pretty
pulling
far
up.
behind.
No, it's just a few miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of time to make it up.
So you guys meet 3 times in December, so that's probably in our favor. You have an extra
I'm
meeting
not sure we're gonna meet that last week in December.
on the 30th.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. No,
Okay.
no, we don't do that.
It's
But we
not
might
needed.
have to.
Unless we have to. Have we ever had to? I mean, it's tough. Everybody's got family in town. Or is traveling the family. If all goes well. And we can fly.
Are you looking for the previous schedule,
Yeah,
Adrian?
which
I
I'm
just-
just, I think I've got so many versions of it because we obviously
Alright.
updated so much.
Right.
I feel like I used to date the updates, but. All right. All right, we're gonna have to just deal with this one here. Okay. So,
Would it help to build from the bottom up?
yes, probably, right? So, second Saturday in May? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
I'll get you that date.
All right, so that means the 9th.
Yes.
Yes.
So. All right, so then we usually do our budget information session the Thursday before. So that would be the 7th. Okay. And then I'm trying to remember how many weeks before annual town meeting, we need to meet with the select board to, is it 2 weeks?
I think it is.
Yeah, we probably want to make it 3 weeks, just so that it's
Yeah,
finalized.
because you have to post it 2 weeks before.
So we could say that would be the 14th
21st?
or the 21st, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's meeting with the select board.
Didn't we
Mhm.
change it so that we did our approval
Yeah.
and we didn't have to meet with them?
No, I think no, we did meet with them, but what we did differently last year was that we had already voted as a FinCom before that meeting, yeah.
That's right.
All right. Meet with select board to finalize town. Okay. All right. That means that we're probably gonna meet on the 7th to FinCom.
AJ, before you get too far, I think it might be
Am I
cutting it
off?
really close.
Yeah.
No, if your dates are fine, but I
Okay.
think I'm just looking at when we have to post, it still has to get reviewed by Donna. We have to do
Okay.
all the printing. So you may
Yeah.
want to meet,
So what if we said the 14th then?
yeah. I think
Is
that would be better.
is that what you're suggesting? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's already a regular meeting for them.
Perfect.
Okay. So then March.
Don't you think we should meet on April 7th?
Yeah, I think we need April 7th.
Yeah. Okay.
That's probably us finalizing our
Yeah.
budget.
FinCom finalizes budget and vote on warrant articles. Okay. Then of course we so Haley, I'm wondering, like, I'm not really paying attention to like the select board's meeting schedule here. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I've got the dates for you. That
Okay,
should
got it.
be March 24th.
Okay. All right. So good. So then we're off. Okay. So then March, let's see, April, so March, so March 24th is a select board meeting date?
No, that's
No.
your meeting. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So then,
We meet the first and third weekends of the month, right?
Mhm. I
That would
can't.
be
I
the
have
fourth?
that preset
the
on my
fourth?
calendar.
yeah, okay, great.
Well, I was gonna say the 24th is the fourth week, Tuesday of the month.
It's because there's
For
5
March.
in March. That's why.
Oh, yeah, 3/17/31.
Mhm.
It would be 3/17/31 based on first, third.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have that as well, here, I had, if
Well,
your
if-
next meeting is the 18th of November, maybe it's that part is easier to go down.
Okay. All right. So I think I think now we can go back to the beginning because,
yeah,
Yeah, all right, yeah, and see how it comes together.
yeah, exactly. All
see if it meets in the middle.
right. Yeah.
It will.
All right.
Oh, God.
December 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then 16th. Okay. So then we're
30.
not gonna meet, are we gonna meet on the 30th or?
Not
Let's
me.
take that off.
Because we've started so late, we're gonna figure out if all the appointments can fit in and whether we need that date.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it as an open date, but we may not, yeah, if everything works out, we will not need to use it.
So we'll be meeting.
Some of us.
So
We could be optimistic, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
it's the 13th.
January. Yep.
27th.
Mhm.
We're into February.
Wait a minute, where's the police?
A minute.
It's next after the
Okay.
library.
February.
Oh, yes, okay.
So February 10th and February 24th. Okay. Then March 10th.
Are we really expecting the highway and the fire to have something by November 18th?
No. That's the problem. It's not
Yeah.
gonna start, they're
Oh.
not gonna turn their budgets until
Right,
December
we're
1.
gonna have to move these around. but,
Yeah, okay,
um,
okay.
Mhm.
The only thing
Sorry.
that is makes sense right now are the dates. All right, so that did work out for the March 24th.
Okay, yep.
Okay. So.
So December 2nd, highway fire.
So do you think we could do, like the first? If I just shift this may not work, but let's just shift
Yeah,
everything
let's
down,
see what it looks like.
see what it looks like. So
Might-
Susie, is there
Yeah.
any January 13th as a tentative date to have a first peek at the school budget? Does that sound at all plausible? Or-
Yeah, they do their first draft in November,
Okay, got it.
but there's, a lot of dust to settle. So
Yeah,
yeah, let's try that.
okay. So what do we think? Could this potentially work?
It looks good.
Yes.
Having
Oh.
extra time for the town meeting helps.
Yeah,
So the budget information will be due on December 1st and then, so December 2nd is okay for us to have our first one? Okay.
Especially if the liaisons get on it.
Right.
Yep.
The other piece was we need to have our little financial summit on here.
oh, yeah, okay,
Or
So
be
do we-
thinking about how it fits into this.
yeah. Do we want to actually? So feel like how critical is it that we do it after?
I don't
We
think it
meet-
is.
It's not, you don't think, okay. So we could do it after the 20, like literally after sometime that week of the 27th of January.
Mhm.
We are definitely.
the-
No, I'm sorry.
I also wonder about some of these, like the collector and the accountant. I don't know if we need to meet with them. They have pretty stable costs that are mostly related to their computer. I think they like to be talked to, which our liaison can be listening. But I was thinking about that, like the treasurer and the assessor have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need to meet with the broadband. It's fine to talk to them, but their budget we don't do anything about their budget. So I was thinking about, thinking about the weight of each of these and maybe which ones are not that big.
That's a great idea. I agree with you on that 100%. And I would say that if you have a department head who feels like they need to engage with us, because some people
Yeah.
like to,
Right.
fine, then we can do that. But if we as liaisons talk to them and say, are you comfortable just me handing in this budget that we put together? And they say, sure, especially those who have level funded budgets.
Right.
That could buy us a lot of time.
Yeah. Also, do you need this first review of the SES budget draft in January?
I think we
Susie,
do.
you said that comes out in November.
Oh. But
I'll
doesn't
have-
it get updated a lot, like Susie, with as kind of new information comes in from the state and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the wild cards. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's tons of wild cards.
Yeah.
And this even more so now. I'll ask them. I'll get
Okay.
back to you.
All right.
I'll ask SES
So-
what places we're gonna intersect
Yeah.
for reviewing their budget.
Yeah, I will just say, especially for for, I guess, Molly here, the reason the school appears twice in the schedule, which is obviously not the case for any other departments, is because obviously it's a much more complicated budget than with many more line items. But what we've been doing the last couple of years is we get this preview of this early draft of the budget that the finance director for the district puts together. And then that letter is actually, we talk at this meeting internally. We don't actually meet with anybody from the school on, in this case, on January 13th. We talk about it internally, and we actually generate a list of any follow-up questions or any clarifying questions, which inevitably, because it's such a complicated budget, there are things we need to ask them about. And so we generate a whole list of questions that then get shared with them. So then I think that makes it a much better process for them to, they know exactly what we're asking for and what we need.
And last year, Caitlin was being asked at one level to report numbers differently, so she ended up changing the entire format, which put us on our tizzy.
Yeah,
But we got through it. But she has reporting requirements, and it's a lot of things in our budget are driven by what the state's doing, and that was one of them. And it's very annoying because it turns us upside down for a while. But it should be great this year, okay?
she's going to be able to do it two ways, the way the state requires it and the way that makes sense.
No,
to
I
those of
think
us
she's
trying to read
moving
it.
forward with the state way, because now we have a 26 budget to compare it to.
Yeah, it's still confusing the way it is. I tend to agree with those that thought that it's confusing to see what's really going on in each line when you have to go down and find another line to add to it to see what the real total cost is.
Yeah. But I think we can even develop a little page that adds stuff together, because it's very clearly laid out here and there, and then we can put it together. But
I'm
Or ask her to.
Caitlin could do it. She
Yeah,
just needs
ask her
to
to.
redesign it.
yeah. But what we have is a comparison to FY26 is going to be better.
So getting back to the schedule, what do folks think about me taking the collector and accountant off this schedule?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yes.
moving capital planning to, I don't know if this is too ambitious, to the 24th.
We should be ready for
Yeah.
the 24th.
Yeah.
That would
And
be
then
good.
regional school on the 10th.
That gives,
And then,
Yeah, I would even, in some years, this could change too. Like this year, I would almost say we don't need the assessors, especially because two of us are on the board.
Mm.
But this year is a little unique because of the staffing with the head assessor.
and there's some unknowns.
Yes.
okay. I think we got a schedule, right?
And so where do we think the fiscal summit will be?
Okay, so I think we're thinking it's probably sometime during this week of January 26th to the 30th. At least a placeholder in there right now. Molly?
I'm just wondering if I don't think we have a police chief yet.
Yeah, I know.
And so like, would we want to move that one later? Like, I don't know what the timeline is for that, if it makes sense to like think that we might have somebody in place, and even if they are in place, if they'd have time to figure it out.
Good.
And then I assume the fiscal summit is going to be, what was it, like a Thursday morning or? whatever
I was
we
gonna
have
ask you,
for-
Haley, is there a day of the week that we should, like, that's generally better for these kinds of meetings?
We did it
Well-
on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, let me poll people because it's kind of split. Some people only do Tuesday, Thursday, and then some people only do Monday, Wednesday,
Hmm.
and never the two shall meet. But
we
yeah,
lose
if I
any-
can.
Did we lose anybody critical because of that? Because it wasn't a Monday? one?
I think it would have been nice to have our land use clerk
Mm,
there.
mm,
But I can poll people and just,
Okay.
and I'll see them. Actually, I'll see them all on Thursday, so I can just ask them.
I'm
And
just gonna say,
we can represent that I can't be there on Wednesday and neither can April, not
Mhm.
Wednesdays.
Right. Oh, yes. But I could do any other day.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
okay. Are there any things missing on this that we? So one thing I feel like we usually have. Well, who am I kidding? We're probably gonna have to add a meeting somewhere around March, like either before March 24th or after it. Because
Well,
right,
yeah,
because I don't think like 2 meetings. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
we're going to be having ad hoc meetings in between these Tuesdays
of
occasionally.
course. All right.
Mhm.
So I guess I don't have to say this is tentative, and it's now FY27. Okay. So
Yeah, I think it makes, I get what you're saying, Molly. And I think it's a really good point. And I think let's just keep it on the 16th with the police. I mean, it'll be a shift no matter what.
yeah,
We'll
We-
see what
We could
the acting
flip
chief.
the treasurer and the police.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could switch the treasurer and the assessors with the library and police.
Will
Yes.
your assessor be in enough to have any projection?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Okay, switch them.
She'll probably yell at me, but that's all right.
Yeah, she's going to yell at you. She's going to yell at you.
She's on top of it.
She is
as soon as
so
she
on-
gets as soon as she gets that letter, she's going to start working on it.
I know she is.
That's
Yeah.
how she is.
I think it's a good idea. And also it occurs to me that the library, even though she's so on top of the budget, it's going to be quite different this year, right? Because-
Well,
Yeah,
and the timing, like if that's still when we're trying to be moving
Yeah.
buildings and stuff, the timing of January should be a lot more comfortable for her.
Okay. All right. So
Good
I
point.
think that's a good decision.
That's a
Okay.
real good point.
All right. So we'll do that switch. Okay. What any other suggestions? Can we call this a wrap on our schedule here?
Well, we should maybe have a little pool about how far off we veer from it.
Yeah. All right.
How many
So-
meetings are we really having? Yes.
So Haley, I'm going to send you 2 documents, the budget letter,
Okay.
the schedule, and then Susie will send you the budget forms. And so what each department head is going to get is three
Okay.
documents. Okay, so let's make sure I save this. Dated 11. Okay. All right, so that's that.
A real quick question, Haley.
Mhm.
I was asked Haley, those meetings you're going to follow up with the department heads regarding the budget. What do you call those meetings?
We just call them department head meeting.
Okay, you got it. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see. I lost my agenda. All right. Next up on the agenda is planning for towns meeting. Okay, so I think everybody got my email. So pull that up. Okay. So a few things about to say about this. So we've got so who I guess who knows, who can confirm whether they'll be able to attend on Saturday?
I
So
will.
April,
Unlikely. Yes.
so did you say unlikely?
Yes, likely.
Likely. Okay. So George, Molly, no.
I have to work. Is there a remote in
Um,
version? Is it
yes.
hybrid?
Yes, I believe I don't think you'll be
It's
able
not-
to.
No,
Yeah,
they
it's not-
record it. They don't broadcast it,
Oh, is that right? Okay.
right? No,
It
I don't
says it's in person in the where it says good afternoon
yeah.
all attaches the agenda.
Okay. I think you'll be able to watch it after the fact. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be there'll be a way to attend virtually. Okay, but it sounds like we'll have a quorum, so I'll post a FinCom meeting. So here's the agenda. So I think everybody knows that the regional school committee has a fiscal sustainability subcommittee. Anna Haird from Shutesbury is very involved in that. She's been collecting information from Shutesbury and the other and Leverett and Pelham, essentially trying to kind of quantify our contributions, or historical contributions or education spending, I should say, over the last several years, beyond just the elementary school budget, that line that appears in our budget, and beyond the regional assessment. There are a bunch of costs that are sort of buried in other budget lines, and there's capital spending and all of that. So Susie's been doing a lot of work to get to get Anna that info, and I think that that sustainability subcommittee is working on some kind of report, and I think they're going to present information. Then this 4 towns kind of working group has its own sort of PowerPoint that it's going to share, that I think I sent everybody a copy of that. And that's largely just kind of reinforcing a bunch of sort of region-wide factors that very much mirror what's happening in Shutesbury, that we've already communicated with at our department heads meeting. But you've all seen or at least have access to the draft PowerPoint. Then there is an expectation that each town will make sort of a few points about its fiscal outlook. Okay. And so I think we should be prepared to share something. I drafted just a few bullet points that come right from what we had prepared for the department head meeting. So I can pull those up. Okay. But this, I mean, you guys should tell me if there are other things we should be focusing on here. So I have sort of 5 kind of bullet points that I thought would kind of pretty much summarize what we talked about with department heads. So in Shutesbury, the story we're seeing is very similar to what's playing across many towns in Massachusetts. Our budgets are increasing at rates significantly higher than inflation, while state aid remains largely unchanged. This has led to greater reliance on local tax levy to fund essential services. Our tax levy for FY 26 is projected to increase by 6.9%. Residential property taxes will account for 73% of our revenues.
Do you know,
Sorry,
quick
say
question
again?
about this paragraph.
Yeah,
Do you know what our residential property tax accounted for in fiscal 25?
no, but we could calculate that real quick.
Well, I'm just wondering, to give context,
Yeah, no,
the
it's a good-
trend.
It's a good question. Okay, I guess I could just, probably the easiest thing is to pull up the annual report from FY 25.
I think, right, you get it off the budget, right? I can look it
Yeah,
up.
I can also do it from the budget, yeah. All right, so that would be,
You got it.
so I'm gonna use the actuals, right?
However you calculated the 73.
Well, the 73 is based on our budgeted, our FY 26 budget, right? We don't have. obviously,
Oh, for 25, yeah, use actual. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
yes.
All right, so.
Isn't it on our financial report?
Yeah.
FY20.
It's on that as well as, all
Oh, okay, here, I'll look.
right, yeah, maybe if somebody can look that up while I'm walking through the rest of these, okay. Our fixed costs, especially health insurance and wages, are rising much faster than revenues. Health insurance alone jumped more than 40% last year. And those increases ripple across every department. To balance the FY 26 budget, Shutesbury relied on over $150,000 in free cash and temporarily suspended its $50,000 OPEB contribution. These measures stabilize the budget, but cannot be repeated indefinitely.
Would it help to say what percent that $150,000 is of our total free
Of-
cash?
Um,
Or is that
well,
nitpicky?
the only thing is that our free cash is probably in a pretty healthy place. So I'm not sure
Okay,
as a percentage, it's going to be very remarkable for people. Because, but well, I don't know. What do people think? I guess we can. So this is our,
FY 25's residential property tax accounted for 74.7%,
okay,
if you want that number.
all right. So it's pretty similar to what we're.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
yeah, and I think leaving the 150,000 as is, that's fine.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
don't need to
all right.
go into details like that.
I think another problem that we're facing, and today brought it home, is that the revenue from the state is not stable or predictable. I mean, they cut things at the end of preparing the FY 26 budget. They have, it's just wild right now.
Mhm, yeah,
And that's unpredictability. We all experience it. I understand that, but it makes it makes the process really difficult
yeah.
for
so some-
everybody, for the state, for the schools, for us.
Yeah. State aid remains largely unchanged and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, go ahead, George.
I've got proposed budget. Total tax levy was 78%. Oh,
Okay.
actually, it might even be slightly higher because
78% of the total, but because I
Yep.
pulled the 73% off the pie chart that's in our, but
The updated one.
yep, the one we shared at special town meeting.
yeah, they probably want to stick with that then. I'm just taking the tax levy divided by the total revenue at the bottom.
But does that include commercial taxes?
Everything.
Okay,
Yeah. So this is
So,
residential.
I'm making a point just
Good
about
point.
residential.
Got
tax.
it, got it. Yep. Good catch. Yep. And then the other thing I wanted to say was the 150.
Mhm.
So what's that? Shutesbury relied on over 150 in free cash and temporary suspended. It was 130, it was 138, I think, but we did use free cash for capital items too. So yeah, that is a good thing to say. All right, I was just double checking.
Okay,
I'll stop now.
all right. Then I want to make this point about new obligations. So FY 27 brings recurring costs for PFAS monitoring mitigation, a new library facility, and continued salary realignments. These new commitments add to our baseline spending before other cost increases are considered. And then end on sort of taxpayer capacity and sustainability. The average single family tax bill has doubled since 2003. It is projected to increase by 6.6% for FY 26 alone. FY 27 could be even tougher. Okay, so this is maybe not a good thing. George, I took your very, very preliminary 5-year budget thing, which happens to have an 8% increase for FY 27. Is it, I mean, do you think it's reasonable for me to say an early projection suggests that could increase by another 8%?
Sure, why not? I mean, we put everything, we increased everybody's line, we increased all lines by 2.5, but we also put in the debt service that they gave us last year for the high school. We put in the rubbish that's under the contract.
Yeah.
And we put back the 50,000 and
Okay.
we increased health insurance by 10%. So, you know, it is.
And we're not, and it doesn't, we're not, I mean, we may make a different decision down the road, but we're not planning on using any cash reserves this time around. At least that's built into the projection.
That's built into this 8%. That's right.
Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm comfortable
So-
with this statement.
Okay.
Is it a little misleading because we're saying we're not because we're not including cash reserves?
Well, I mean, I don't think we should, I don't think the default assumption should be that we're using cash reserve. We never did this until the last couple of years.
Not for operating, but for just capital.
Right.
Right.
So-
Okay.
I think it's reasonable for us to begin the budgeting process with an assumption that we're not utilizing cash reserves. And then once we see what we're dealing with, we may make a decision to do that. It's probably likely, but it's not, I don't think it's a default assumption. Susie?
I'm thinking it could say for the operating costs somewhere in that sentence. But the other thing is, if you've included the capital expense, I think that should be identified because we don't know how we're going to meet
Well,
that.
the average single family tax bill is just the average tax bill reflects everything. It reflects operating budgets and it reflects the debt service on
Yeah, service, right.
that's in the operating budget. And it's
And
not-
this 8% figure assumes the first debt payment on the new library facility.
Yes.
That's one of the.
AJ, I might put a range. I don't know.
Yeah.
6 to 8%, 8% being the, I don't know, or double inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, it does say 8%, right?
Yeah.
But
there's
a lot of
I just,
subjectivity in there. We need to back that up if people start pressing us on it.
yeah. I mean, what I tried to do here was have enough sort of caveat. It's an early projection.
Mhm.
It could increase by another 8%. So like, it's definitely not, I mean, I don't think we're stating this that as a definitive conclusion. I mean, it's way too early for us.
No,
to
that's
be able
true.
to-
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine with that statement.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm going to go back where I said earlier.
Okay.
I also
All right.
imagine other towns are going to have a very similar kind of
Yeah.
outline.
Yeah.
We're certainly not alone.
So I guess let me throw it out and see, are these the right points for us to be sharing with the other towns? Is there something I'm missing that we think is important to communicate?
What capital costs are we not including?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a town hall that needs some work,
Yeah.
We are not, you know, we did repair the grader last year, but who knows how long that's going to, I mean, that we have.
The
Potential.
grader is in the shop right now, just so you know. And we're a parking lot and the
Yep.
storage tank at the school is a
Oh,
big
right.
deal.
Yeah.
And
We
the
have a
fire
lot of
department-
deferred maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just
But-
added for recurring costs for PFAS mitigation, needed repairs to town buildings, a new library.
And other.
Mhm.
But some of those are met with cash reserves, and I guess I'm
Yes.
feeling like we are talking about the average bill going up with, because we're avoiding reliance on cash reserves for operating, but we will be using cash reserves for some of these other things. That's
That's a
how
good-
we've done
But-
them.
But Susie, I mean, my understanding is that everything in this sentence is going to be, with the exception of maybe no, everything in this
Yeah,
sentence
everything.
is an operating expense, because the needed repairs, we have the building repairs line that's gonna be funded. I mean, we may come February, we may decide that we want to use cash reserves for some of these items, but they are operating items in our budget.
Well, I guess I feel like saying the word operating is important, or operating budget.
Yes.
One of the parts we're trying to come to this meeting is be able to compare apples to apples. So if
Right.
we don't have the pieces named, then we would have a harder time identifying that to be able to hold it up as a comparison.
The big items are going to be continue to fund OPEB. The new library is coming in.
Mhm.
I think we need to mention the uncertainties surrounding health insurance. I think we just only want to hit the big items, and PFAS is a big item.
Health
That's huge.
is in the
Maybe-
second dot.
I'm not sure the
Health insurance
reserves
is
to
up
the
there.
town is a big item. The repairs to the town buildings is a big item, because at the end of the day, it's $40,000.
And maybe the salary realignments I can get rid of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
It's less than 10,000. It is 10,000.
All right, so recurring operating costs for PFAS mitigation. What do we think? I mean, needed repair. So, I mean, the last set of comments suggested that we do want to include that.
I don't think we need that. I think we should mention,
We're not gonna change that. We're gonna continue. Oh, are we adding it back in? Oh, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. That's the thing.
Mhm.
That's
That's
one
an
of the things
operating
that's
expense.
right.
that's
It'll
one of the
be,
things that's going to make FY27 particularly challenging, because it's something's coming back into the
Yeah.
the budget that
but
wasn't
we
there
might,
last
we might ease it in with cash, and it's $40,000.
Yeah.
So it's not one of the larger items.
I would say keep it in, because you also have to factor in like the grader. We're
Mhm.
going to need the fire truck has like one more year of usable life left into it. That's going to be a major expense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it is fair to say that repairs to buildings and infrastructure is a significant cost driver for us.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just what
Mhm.
heading, that's all under operating obligations. So I'm just feeling, if we want to talk about some capital costs, we
Yeah.
need to label them.
So the grader and the fire truck are clearly capital costs and probably don't
Mhm.
belong in this sentence.
Right.
But I still think that because we're restoring the building repair line
right,
to
I
its
see that.
previous levels, that
Yeah.
is an operating.
Right.
And the new library facility is going to have a debt service
Mhm.
And
item in our
operating.
budget, and some new operating costs that we
Yeah.
did not have in the old building, right?
Yeah.
So, well,
Hmm.
so I added the word recurring operating costs to make
Yep.
sure that, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think I have anything about health insurance here. So,
It's up
Right.
above.
yeah,
It's in the second dot.
yeah, right. Yeah. So it's like health insurance alone jumped more than 40% last year. And we
Anticipate.
anticipate further increases
Yeah.
in FY27.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Anything else?
And so where's the OPEB coming back in? Under
Yes,
operating?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we're saying it was temporarily suspended.
Right.
I think the
But do you want
implications
to
are-
put it under operating
Brings
obligation?
up,
No, I guess not, because it's not new.
Right.
Yeah, and it's included. I think this is a good summary.
All right.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna bring these to the Four Towns meeting. I should probably talk to somebody from the select board. Okay. It's not, I mean, see if they want to share these, or if they want us to share them. Do they have other things they want to share? But so I'll give Melissa or Rita a buzz. And I'll share these little points with her. Okay. All right. Any questions about, and then I think there is going to be some caucus opportunity or some discussion opportunity. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of things to react to. So nothing that I think we need to plan for. So,
Yeah.
okay. Any other questions about the Four Towns meeting?
Will there be coffee and donuts?
I know.
And
Better
they should
be.
pass them out
Usually
before
are.
the meeting, not after the meeting.
That's right.
Usually are. George, without taking the time to walk through it, because it's still a work in progress, I think it would be helpful if you just shared a couple of sentences, or just I mean, to this group right now, if you could talk a little bit about your long range planning
Sure.
document that you're putting
Sure.
together. I think it'd be good for people to
Yeah,
know.
sure. So, we've been talking about for years the need for a 5-year forward-looking forecasts to kind of get a sense of where we're really going in terms, in terms of everything. But what I did was I took our budgets, I took our budget report, and I got rid of all the budgets from the prior years. I just put in the actuals, and then I had the FY26 budget. And I created formulas for 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 that would increase every line in the budget each year based on whatever percentage I put in at the top. So I made a formula so that we can put in a percentage increase that we think would happen. And from that, we would get a total budget. And then below that, I took what our 26 estimated cherry sheet is and our 26 estimated local race seats in detail, and subtract those from that budget to come up with the amount of money we need to raise from the tax levy. And then I take the levy limit calculation that we're all familiar with, and I compare the two, and then we can see what the impact on excess levy capacity is, what that gap is needed to balance the budget to the tax levy. How much space do we have? And then to that, there are some specific lines that we know numbers for, so that I overrided the percentages, adding back the $50,000 for OPEB, the debt service that we know is coming for the regional school because they give us that information at the Four Towns meeting. And certainly in 2-3 years from now, that number goes up by a factor of 4. I did 10% on the health insurance, who knows, but that was a number. There might have been one other thing in there. Haley is going to get the contracts for all the department heads, and we'll plop those numbers in because we know what they are, at least in the earlier years. And so when that is done, when those adjustments are made, we have a new total budget amount, subtract those revenues. We still need to talk about our assumptions for the revenue growth, because we don't know how fast the cherry sheet's going to increase over 5 years, but we'll probably use an average. I haven't done that yet, but it's been 1% per year. That's all it's been. So it's not a lot of money. And then see what happens with local receipts. A lot of it is dependent on what happens when the recap is done this year, and we can get the final numbers from the assessor's office on the local aid estimates and the cherry sheet, although we have that. And then below that, there's a little key metrics, and that things like how much of excess levy capacity did we use, or did we generate each of those years? And I'm telling you right now, we used every year, especially this year, preliminary numbers over $200,000 of excess levy capacity being needed. Which leads me to something about that letter we just talked about, which I want to mention when I'm done with this real quick. Not letter, but presentation. There is one thing I wanted to just say about that. I'm sorry, I know I'm late on that. Anyways, so some key metrics. Excess levy capacity is a key one. Percentage increase year to year on the budget, on the tax levy. And the key thing that I just want to remind everybody is we can talk about how much levy capacity we'd have, but we're going to show that it's going down year over year. Fiscal F27, it's going to go down a lot. We're going to put in these other numbers and see what's really happening. We can't really say at this point because we have some assumptions to work out. When people talk about our excess levy capacity, it's not like we have a savings account that we can dip in and all of a sudden we can just take care of our budgeting issues, because the voters are going to be directly impacted and they're going to have a say about it. So AJ, if people start questioning our excess levy capacity at the Fort Town meeting, we do need to remind them of that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I liked your point about, single taxpayer going up by 8%, average single taxpayer bill going up by 8%. People need to realize, voters have a say in that matter. So anyways. But that's it. We have the expenses. We're going to project out the expenses. We'll project out the revenues, and then we'll have the ability to see how it affects the tax rate. And we do plan on doing having multiple scenarios. We're going to try not to have 15 scenarios. We're going to hopefully have 4 scenarios, and we can make 4 different versions of it by just tweaking a few things. And then we can maybe make a summary of what we learned with ranges. It could be anywhere from excess levy capacity could go by anywhere from 400,000 to the full amount, the full 600,000. And so that's how we'll probably present it. And I do hope that, and AJ, I don't know what you think of this, Haley, but if we meet one more time to talk about this, and then we can finalize it, or not finalize it, but to have a coherent forecast, then we can bring it to this committee.
Yeah.
We can all see it. It'd be great to get everybody's feedback on it. I'm open to any suggestions on improving it. And we can also, I'm sure, as a group, come up with some really good ideas.
Yeah. I think especially ideas for what those scenarios are that we want to actually model out with this tool are I think we want the full committee to kind of bring ideas for that,
we can bring some base assumptions that we all know,
Yeah.
but beyond that, then we can start talking about all the other what ifs.
We want to look at our population, either end of our population, like our end, or the children, what the projected school population could be.
Yeah.
Susie, is that something the school could provide?
Yes, they know 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and they watch it roll into the programs. I don't think they get any numbers younger than that. We could check with the town. Oh, there is no town clerk. If we had a town clerk, we could probably find out who was born this year, next year. I mean, last year and the year before. But
somebody in town hall could find birth certificates. I mean, we have
the town clerk has that information. I guess the question is, so this projecting thing is also sort of trying to capture what else might happen. When we got our internet, we had an influx of younger people, older people moving out, younger people moving in, gig economy stuff working from their home because they had internet. What else is going to happen? I don't know. But
forecasts
we can probably, the other assumptions is like what happened today. We got 11,000 from the E&D at the regional school. We got 60,000 instead of 12 for rural aid. I mean, what the hell? How can
is
you
that what the number was? It was 12?
We projected 16. They were, because last year we projected 20, they only got 16. So they projected 16 and then they were told they were going to get 12. So, it just, and I actually need us to have a conversation. It could probably be next meeting about how does influxed money affect our projections for FY '26. And we're not the only town that got a boost. All of the other towns got a boost from their rural aid, including Amherst Regional, because they get rural aid. So, it's not like we're in the money now, but I need to understand how that affects our projected tax rate for this year, especially because some of that money, like the rural aid, goes to the school. So how
It
does
won't
that?
affect the tax rate at all.
Susie,
what?
just one question, Susie. The rural aid is essentially a source similar to school choice, right? In that it is entirely the responsibility of the school committee to disperse that however they see
Right.
fit, right?
And they put it in their revenue projection for FY '26, and they used 16,000, and now it's 63.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so how are they going to spend it? It's up to them. The tax
Right.
rate's going to be set very soon, and the tax rate is based on the budget. So any pickups in the budget are not really going to flow to the tax rate. They
Will be-
could flow to free cash.
yes,
If the school
right.
decided not to spend that 63, whatever it was, 62,000, then that would flow to free cash at the end of the year. The 11,000, the assessments, that will definitely flow to free cash because they're just not going to bill us that amount of money.
Right, okay. And then I know that there is special ed needs. And so when we're making our plan, you talked about making a capital stabilization out of school choice money, and maybe we have that. I mean, so there's tools left for us to develop, and we need to, because we're the juggling jello is ridiculous. I mean, we don't want to have a ton of free cash when we could have had a lower tax rate.
Right.
I don't know how that works. It's very
Well,
upsetting
a lot
to
of the
me.
free cash we have is developed over 20, 30 years. It's been a lot of it's been sitting there. We haven't been using it for the budget because we don't want to have a structural deficit, but it's not like we've been making a choice, tax the people instead of using cash. It's the wise thing to do. Moving it towards capital items makes the most sense. And hearing about
Right.
the fire truck, knowing what's going on with fire trucks in this country, if he doesn't ask for it now, he won't get it for 3 years. And
right.
so that's the kind of stuff we have to plan for. That's capital planning. And that's
Right.
what we're trying to do in the capital planning group.
Right.
I think we're going to do better at that
Good.
going forward. But one other thing, we're going to have debt exclusion override through the library, and we know in time through the region. And so I don't know if we have the capacity, but that's not a bad way to build up the stabilization fund either.
Mhm.
Even if we did it $75,000 or $100,000 a year, the fire truck's going to be $1 million. And so, the debt service on that in our budget's going to clobber us.
Yeah.
So we do need to, and that's where a long-range forecast can be useful. Long-range forecasts don't tell you what's going to happen, but they give you the picture. And I guarantee nobody goes back and look at their long 5-year forecast 3 years later and say, what did we do wrong?
Right. But I know that when I saw like this rural aid being 4 times or whatever, 3 times higher than the last one, how do we plan FY '27?
You can't.
And we'll be talking to our legislators. The testimony at Greenfield High from 4:30 to 6:30 this Thursday. I'm gonna go. I think I sent out that presentation by Noah Berger and Natalie Blay and Joe Comerford. They want people to show up. They want people to say, but we were gonna say about rural aid. Oh no, now what do we say about rural aid? Well,
Thank
one
you.
thing we say is we want it to be predictable and sturdy because
Yes.
we're trying to build it into our
Yes.
budget. Anyways,
Rural aid should be built into the Chapter 70 formula.
Absolutely.
Instead of having all these loose things, we should just have one cohesive formula
Right.
that takes in all the different
That makes
demographics.
too much sense.
right. Probably somebody's fiefdom would get interrupted.
Right. Well, we also have the pilot with the state land and the idea that the 11 towns of budding Quabbin should be getting some reimbursement. I mean, those things are still floating out there.
Right.
Yeah, so
No
what
idea.
extent do we put those in the forecast? Those are really
Yeah.
hard
Right.
things to predict.
I
Yeah.
don't think
We
we
can't, we
I don't
can't.
think we can until they get passed, right? I mean, I think.
Right, or they get, yeah, we can really put our finger on the pulse and get a pulse.
But when we
Okay.
go to the four-town meeting, we can say this is true. These factors are true for everybody.
Yeah.
They are having unpredictable pieces from the state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, if the Quabbin thing comes through, that's Pelham and Shutesbury. Leverett and Amherst aren't going to benefit from that,
Right.
so,
No. So there.
All
so
right.
there.
Well, anyway, so Haley and I saw a preview of this thing and I think you guys will be excited to see it. So we'll meet again as a subcommittee, and then I think we'll be able to share that soon.
That's awesome.
Okay, Susie, I know that you and Laura met since our last meeting. I think you guys have formed kind of a FinCom communications subcommittee of sorts. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing? And then I think you have a specific document that I think we need to discuss then.
So we laid out
Mhm.
the why we're doing it, what we want to present, how to communicate. We decided to have a timeline because we wanted to have little news flashes from the FinCom. And so we laid out the timeline relative to what we're actually doing. So we projected that. And we thought about how to do the outreach beyond just a town announce. And we oh yeah, so we did the timeline, then we did the topics, and then Laura drafted the first one. And for November, we said the topic would be legislative topics to lobby, because it's time to lobby now. And so we used the information that the Democratic Committee assembled of different pieces of legislature and that are up on different topics. And so Laura picked out some, she made it sort of manageable and have the links. And we think in the schedule of things, if these news flashes go out the second week of each month, these short infos would be on a town announce, but we can build off them. We can present them in person to the PTO. We could, I mean, this particular one leads to maybe having a letter writing time at town meeting, at town hall. So this is sort of the basic idea. And then we want to keep figuring out how the outreach works from this schedule. And one thing that we ran into right away is can one of us, Laura and I, draft it, edit it, and then not come back to the committee for approval of each news release, because that would be a pain in the neck. So here's a sample of the one that
Yeah.
she did first. And if people think it's good, then let's just go forward with getting these out the second week of every month. And I think I sent you, AJ, our proposal, and it has the schedule of each month, what the topic will be.
How will this be distributed again?
So it starts out as a town announce. We'll also put it on the FinCom webpage. And then we can use this presentation as a way to meet with groups, whether it's a school committee meeting or something like that, take it to them more personally.
All right, so this is the plan that.
This
Susie
is
and
the
Laura
first
put
piece
together.
we developed.
It's exciting, yeah.
It really is.
So it'll be announced and then it'll be available on our website,
Yep,
shutesbury.org.
and we will follow up with finding ways to contact groups personally.
Yeah, I mean,
And on the next page is the schedule of, for the announcements, what we're thinking November through May.
yeah, I think this is good. Coming back, I'm thinking about this question you asked about process and whether the full committee needs to vote on these drafts before you can share and release them.
We could make a statement in them at the end that this was prepared by two FinCom members. We can own it.
You know, I think I don't, if it's coming from the FinCom, I think the FinCom needs to look at it. I think probably
Yeah,
the
like-
best way for us to do this efficiently is send it out in advance and say, we're gonna spend 10 minutes on this at our next FinCom meeting, have your comments ready.
Yeah,
So,
and if there are no comments, then
Boom.
it's.
so I guess I need to pay attention to the meeting schedule relative to the release date and try to get it done in sync. And so that's something Laura and I will work
Yeah.
on.
Well, if you're talking,
I'm sorry, go ahead, George.
I was gonna say, if you're referring to the department head meetings, we always take care of business in those meetings as well. And this is not something I think would require a lot of our time.
No, I understand that. It's just like if we're trying to get it out the second week, I got to look at the calendar we just
Oh, I
developed
see. Got it.
and
That's what
find
you meant.
when we can get it
Okay.
approved so it can go out on time.
Got it.
Schedule match up.
I mean, I think the only other thought I had, I think George is right that like any of these communications that are talking about the Shutesbury fiscal picture, I think it's hard to imagine not giving the full committee an opportunity to look at it, comment on it, ask questions. I think tonight's example, though, is something that's really like not about Shutesbury or any business of the finance committee. It's about a broader context. And so I would have thought today, like today's was probably not something that would have required like the FinCom to deliberate on, but I don't know, it may just be cleaner and clearer if we just make this.
I think they were all going to be similar to this because they're information and you can
Yeah.
see the topics we want to give information on. But I agree, we can get it, we
Yeah.
can time it so it's in a meeting that's before the 2-week mark of when we want to release it. And Laura did this first draft and, you know, we're going to take turns. I edit her work, she edits my work. So, but we'll bring it to meetings so that
Yeah.
it gets out in time for the release.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to vote on these things. I think we just need to give the committee a preview and an opportunity to
Yeah.
ask
feedback.
questions
Yeah.
or just, you know,
Just
make
to keep-
suggestions.
Keep it
Yeah, we
cleaner.
just look at it in the context of all the things we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so there it
go,
is.
Hopper.
Can we release this one?
Yep.
So Susie, real quick, so how often are these gonna be released? I just wanna put that in the minutes.
How much what?
How
How
often?
often?
We're gonna do it the second week of every month.
Okay, great.
And the only other thought I had, Susie, in terms of like venues for dissemination of information is, you know, we do our budget information session in those, you know, couple days before annual town meeting. In theory, we could do separate from a FinCom meeting where we've got lots of business to attend to. We could have a Zoom, you know, presentation at another point in the year to share important information from the FinCom and just, you know, have like special one-off sort of Zoom nights where anybody in town can log in and hear a presentation and ask questions. But
I
just
think
as
that's true. One of the things we don't want to do is put out too much information all at once.
Yeah.
So these town announces and talking to committees separately is the first line.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could do some Zooms. I was really happy that Laura was comfortable doing this work with me, and but there's a lot of work going on, a ton of work.
That's for sure. Okay, great. Well, thank you for putting this together. And
Okay, then we'll get it out there on a
it's
town
good.
announce and on a web page, our web page, and we can begin talking to people, because these are really letter writing opportunities. Maybe we'll put up a town announce about having something at town hall if people want to write letters.
Yeah. So I saw that the one you put together for this month, I assume those were links to the actual
Yeah,
our proposed legislation. Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
and she has some learn more ones, which I clicked on the FERCog Rural Aid, which
Mhm.
was written in 22. It's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, this is everything we've been saying, and now we got to say it in 25 for
Right.
FY 26.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great.
That's great. Good. Okay. That's it for our agenda. Are there any other, oh no, we have one
FinCom
item.
reserve?
Haley, we have a FinCom reserve transfer request.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that, Haley?
Yes. So I put in a FinCom request for $1,400 to cover the cost of the annual MMA, so the Mass Municipal Association Conference in Boston. So that would cover attendance to the conference and hotel expenses. And I asked for a little bit more than I think I need because I just wanted a buffer. So I went to the conference for the first time last year when I was working in Amherst, and it was really exciting. You know, you get to hear directly from your legislatures, you get to meet people who are in the same field, and there were quite a few workshops, particularly on like AI use in government that I still think about, still resonate with me. So I wanted to ask if you would include, if you would make that transfer request.
For which line?
Since Becky's gone to those in the past and we didn't ever do a transfer, does it come out of the administrative
Yeah.
budget?
Yeah.
There's not enough in that line item.
She did it.
So,
The $1,400 is a
Yeah.
membership fee or an attendance fee?
It's yeah, conference registration fee plus the hotel. And I booked it using their group rate, so it's the cheapest possible.
It's how many days is the conference?
It starts on Thursday and then it ends on Saturday. And it's at the Omni in Seaport.
So I'll jump in. I mean, yeah, to me, it seems like totally worthwhile thing for you to be doing. I'm wondering if beyond this transfer request for this year, if this ought to be something that's built into the operating budget. It seems like, I'm assuming this is an annual conference
Mhm.
and the kind of thing you would be attending every year, right?
Yes.
So I feel like it should, at least beyond this year, it should be built into the budget. And so it would be helpful for that discussion to know historically kind of what budget lines were used to pay for
Mm.
this conference expense, or what adjustment might need to be made to that.
Okay, I can check through the old budgets.
Yeah, that'd be
and
great.
see.
Yeah, I wonder if Gail could tell you, like,
Oh
what,
yeah, she could just pull it.
like she could probably pull up the because I'm assuming there aren't a lot of costs or to that association, so that's probably, if she looks at
Yeah.
where, that particular vendor. Okay. Any other comments or questions? So I'll make a motion to approve a FinCom transfer FinCom reserve transfer of $1,400 to, we need to specify a line, I think, that it gets transferred to.
The town administrator expense line.
Okay, so the town administrator expense line.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Okay. All right, George.
Arbenz, aye.
Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
Stein, aye.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then Haley, I think, at some point during, we don't have a budget meeting with you, but we should talk about that at some point. If you could talk about your, like, do a little
Mhm.
research on your that expense line and
Yep.
see what needs to be, what adjustments might need to be made.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right,
So-
then I think that wraps up the.
Could I just ask two
the-
general questions?
Yeah, please.
How are we doing on our recruiting for a town administrator, and where are we in the recruiting of a police chief? Does anybody know?
Town
I
clerk.
mean, the town clerk.
Yeah.
We have the,
Oh, I'm sorry, I said administrator, sorry.
That's all right. I
That's
thought you were
Haley.
joking. So I can answer both of those. So Lisa has filling in as our interim town clerk. She is going to be leaving at the end of November. So I've already put an ad out for another interim clerk. I've got 2 people who responded to that who I'm hoping to bring in to talk to this week and next week. And I've got another lead I'm going to pursue. So I think we have enough resources where we'll be okay. And that just has to get us through when we can have a ballot question on pivoting from an elected to an appointed town clerk, and then we can officially hire someone for that position, assuming that passed.
So there's no
And then-
searches, okay.
And then for the police chief, we are doing first round interviews this week and next week, with the goal of submitting to the select board our finalist candidates at the end of November. So I asked them to hold an early December meeting for second round interviews. And, if all that went well and contract stuff, it's likely, knock on wood, this person could start in the new year.
Thank you.
Susie?
We have a invoice from the Association of Town Finance Committees. Stuff gets into the hall mailboxes, and then that's kind of a dead place. So that's for $150. As far as I can tell, it hasn't been picked up and spent, dealt with. I'm trying to figure out if I could sign those warrants. Maybe if we said, yep, somebody else can sign the warrants instead of you having to come up to sign a warrant like that. But it comes out of the FinCom expenses.
I think you have to ask the accountant what the policy is about that.
Well, I know the school committee appoints somebody to
Oh.
represent them for
So
those.
are you willing to do that, Susie?
Yeah.
and offer?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because I live.
I would love to appoint you to that responsibility, because I live a little further from town hall, not there as often as. I
So
think.
make a motion.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to grant, I guess, authority to Susie Mosier to sign
Budget requests or something.
budget requests
Payment
that-
requests, yeah.
for that come out of the FinCom expenses.
Second.
yeah.
All
I'll
right.
s-
George,
Arbenz, aye.
Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
And Stein, aye.
And it's FinCom expense.
Yeah, so
account.
this is for the dues. for
Mhm.
the Association of Town Finance Committees, which is probably what enables us to get the copy, the updated copy of the guide that Haley sent out. Thank you.
But this, what we approved is really for just future and
Right.
all,
Right,
right?
so now, but I think like the school reviews the request for payments and then they approve them and then the person goes in and signs it. So
Got it.
Yeah,
we should probably approve spending $150 for the Association of Town Finance Committees dues.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve um payment of $150 for that expense.
I'll second.
That expense was what again? The,
It's the Association of Town Finance Committees.
okay.
So we've got a second.
Urbanite aye.
Cashew, eye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
And Stein, aye.
Okay.
One other thing I want to reiterate is I'm going up to Greenfield on Thursday, 4:30 to 6:30 for testimony about the effects of, and that's, so I get to be a spokesperson, but I'll represent myself
Mhm.
to give testimony to the impacts of stuff. And I guess that's the I had a list of things, but they're mixed into my notes. I guess I'm concerned about having sweated last March and April, week after week. New costs came in and now new revenues come in. So is that the pattern?
Mhm.
Find out.
Yeah.
Find out, yeah.
I mean, we did have, last year was, I guess, one unusual thing about that was that, we had an interim town administrator for a good chunk of the year. And so, I think there were a couple of those new expenses or new information was also kind of a communication kind of problem that I think is going to be much smoother this year. All right, any other business for us to take up tonight?
So the next meeting's the 18th.
The
Mhm.
8th,
Yep.
on Saturday, and then, yes, the 18th.
Yep.
That's Saturday. With the donuts.
Yes, and lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee.
All right,
All right.
so seeing nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Urbanite aye.
Cashew, eye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
And Stein, aye.
Great, thanks, everybody.
Hey.
Good night.
Haley, I'm
night.
gonna send you those 2 documents right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
I'll mail
care,
you other
everybody.
stuff.
Good night.
Bye.